Vikings, Twins, Timberwolves, Wild. I'm not going to bring up the Loons. I'm not going to bring up the Lynx. Fuck Minnesota sports, man. Oh, the heartbreak, the constant ripping of the heart. Twins, you're supposed to be the Bomba Squad, and you can't hit for power. What is going on? Why? Why did my parents have to birth me in the state of Minnesota where all it is sports turmoil? Sports hell. Yeah, but Benzie, the Twins won a couple World Series. I was one. I don't remember that. I wasn't shaking a fucking homer hanky for the Twins when they won. Come on. Like, just sports gods, throw me a bone. Let something happen. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. If we're lucky, the Twins will win today. We'll get to that. But they'll win today, and then they'll lose a heartbreaker. Because that's Minnesota sports. That's it. It comes down to elimination game usually, and we get eliminated. Because we're never good enough to go all the way and put a fucking ring on our fingers. We're just good enough to get a shitty draft pick next year. Not that draft picks really matter in fucking baseball because you don't see a guy for fucking 27 years. Here's Greg. Let's bring him in. Greg, how's it going? You out there working today? You're live. Benzie's Bits.
Wow. What's going on? Thanks for bringing me in. First-time caller.
Yeah. Okay.
Great topic. Love the show.
Yeah, let's hear your vent.
My vent?
I'm talking about Minnesota sports and how it's just fucking turmoil because we can never be good enough to win all the way like the Minnesota Twins. We're just good enough to get shitty draft picks.
Well, the problem with the Twins is they're a team that's built for the regular season. And, when you're hitting dingers, at a record clip, I get it. It's great to watch. The problem is when you're in the playoffs, you're facing number one and number two every game of a playoff series, and you're not going to be hitting record amounts of dingers against Greinke, or guys like that.
Sure.
So no, I get it from that standpoint. And, it's like only in Minnesota do you get the number one pick for the Timberwolves in a draft where you don't want the number one pick.
Right.
It sucks. And the Vikings, unfortunately, are, screwed over by a horrible contract, and you're going to have to deal with it for 3 years. But at the same, it's kind of like right now, it's kind of like a felon being on probation for 3 years.
Been there, done that.
It's like you just got to suck it up. Mm-hmm. But right now, I think that what the Twins really need to do is they need better pitching. If you're gonna be, well, I don't mean you need a Greinke. You don't need a $30 million a year guy, but you need to be able to compete with these guys, knowing that when the postseason starts, you're going to be in 2-1 games, 3-2 games. You're not going to be in 7-5 games in the middle of July in a regular year.
That's a beautiful thing, Greg. I appreciate your call in. You have a good rest of your day. All right.
Easy, buddy.
Bye, buddy. Holy shit. So this is not GBG. This is Benzie's Bit. Glad to have my buddy Greg on there. Make sure you check out his show, GBG. It's actually going to be called on the All Access Sports Network, which launches tomorrow. We'll have more information on twistsportstalk.com when you see our upcoming episodes, things of that nature. Make sure to check that out. twistsportstalk.com. Also, I am Benzie, aka Matt Benz. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at TwistBenz. Let's get into it. So today it's going to be a crazy jam-packed show. First and foremost, we are going to get into my highly controversial Benzie's Breakdown, which is the power rankings for the week. At number 10, I have the San Francisco 49ers. They beat the horrible dog shit New York Giants 36-9 on the road. Solid defense, riddled with injuries. Nick Mullins, better than Jimmy G. You heard it here first. Nick Mullins, better than Jimmy G. Like that, with guys slowly coming back. I can't wait for Debo to come back. That's one thing I need in the fantasy world is some Debo off the IR. Make that happen, San Fran. I need me some. The Niners still put up 420 yards and 36 points and did not punt against most likely, arguably, the worst team in the NFL, except for the Minnesota Vikings. Next, at number 9, I have the Bucs. The Bucs beat the Broncos 28-10 in this past week. They do play at home against the Chargers this week, which should be interesting because I just made a move for Justin Herbert in my Dynasty League. Let's get it. It's going to be a tough week for him. I don't think I will start him this week, but it's a good pickup for me. So at number 9, I have the Bucs. At number 8, I have the New England Belichicks, the god of all gods. Just molds boys into men and helps them compete. Like, I don't know how you have an old school format for coaching and you can still adapt. You know, that's the difference between other old school coaches and, like, let's say a Belichick or an Andy Reid, is that they adapt. They delegate. And they delegate to the youth. They delegate to guys that are creative, and that's why it works. So the Patriots are in at number 8. At number 7, yeah, breaking news. I've got the Saints, the 1-2 Saints. This has caused a lot of controversy. Everybody's like, but Benzie, there's 2 other 3-0 teams. Fuck those 3-0 teams. The Saints are better than those 3-0 teams. Just watch. Don't believe me? Just watch. I'm fired up. Let's go. So they play at Detroit this week. I expect a convincing W out of them. Right now, they are a good rushing defense, but they're not there. There's something missing. Most likely Big Mike. Oh, but he's only a wide receiver. Yeah, but he adds to the confidence of the game. Of the Saints game. They can do much more with Mike Thomas on the offensive side of the ball, even if he's just a decoy. Put him in. They ran into the buzzsaw, which is the Packers last week, and lost by 7 with a fucking garbage game. They had a garbage game, and they still only lost by 7. They're in at 7. At 6, I have the Seattle Seahawks. Yes, I understand Russell Wilson is currently the MVP of the league, and he has already thrown 14 touchdowns in 3 games. Bonkers. Mr. Unlimited. Yeah, he's been unlimited, but he might need to throw 60 touchdowns this year with the defense playing the way that they are. Make sense? All right, that's why they're in at number 6. At number 5, I have the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen has played like an above-average franchise quarterback. Honestly, he's played like he could be the rival in the future, more of a rival in the future to Patty Mahomes than Lamar. Just because you can see the things that Josh Allen is doing this season, and he is carrying that Bills team, which used to get carried by its defense, and now the defense has almost taken a little bit of a dip, but they still have that potential. So that's why the Bills are in at 5. At number 4, I have the Baltimore Ravens, who ran into Patrick Mahomes, and the Ravens play against Washington football team this week. Very balanced Ravens team. I expect them to bounce back. They deserve to be in the top 5 for sure in the regular season, because it's not until the postseason where they just completely crumble. So we'll see how they bounce back. Top 3 I have. At number 3, I have the Steelers. Beautiful team. Big Ben, 23 for 36, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. James Conner, steady, 18 carries, 109 yards, 1 touchdown. Leads the league in sacks on defense with 15. Love that. Yeah. So they're going to go against the Titans, and they're going to hand the Titans in Tennessee their first loss of the year this week. Mark my words. At number 2, I have the Packers. Yeah, you heard it. The Packers. The second rushing ranked team in the NFL. And you got Aaron Rodgers behind that. When you have a run offense with a Hall of Fame quarterback, that leads to success, right? It opens up options. Even without Devontae, you got the Lazard King out there. He's dipping, he's diving, he's dangling, he's fucking catching the biscuit. The Pack at number 2. At number 1, you have the Kansas City Chiefs. They got Patrick Mahomes. Get your life together. It's a real deal Holyfield. So that right there is Benzies Power Rankings. Combs chiming in here. He says, you are wrong, sir. Yeah. All right. My Uncle Bill, what's going on, Uncle Bill? He says, I'm 66 years old, Matt, and I've grown used to the state of Minnesota professional sports failures. I'll get there one day if I'm lucky enough to live that long, Bill. On to the next one. All right, so that was the breakdown for the week. Let's get into the baller of the week. We kind of talked about it. Not only is his team number 1 in my power rankings, but right now he's number 1 in many people's hearts, and that is Patrick Mahomes. Patty Mahomes had a completion of 31 to 42 attempts in Monday night's game. He had 385 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and 0 interceptions. The Chiefs are now 3-0. Mahomes has 9 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, and leads the NFL in QB rating at 91.8. The year 2020 just keeps getting better for Mahomes. You know, normal people like myself are dealing with riots. You're dealing with COVID. You're dealing with, actually 2020 has been pretty good to me. I just got married, just got back from my honeymoon, recharged, getting paper, paying bills. It is what it is, right? Well, 2020 for Patty Mahomes is elite. Because now, not only is he fucking 3-0, but he's got a baby on the way with his fiance, Brittany Matthews. So, covenant claps all the way around for Patrick Mahomes. You earned the baller of the week. Next, we're getting into it with the bonehead of the week. Man, I wish I had some freaking violin queued up right now, or maybe like some real sad, like freaking funeral tunes. You know what I'm saying? Some funeral tunes right now. Some like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. Mitch Trubisky, you pile of shit. You're the bonehead of the week. Mitch Trubisky was laid to rest on Sunday, and Nick Foles rose up to take his position. Basically, Nick Foles just swooped in on his hypothetical wife and just fucking laid the fucking Mac down, just fucking cucked him right there, right? Just fucking swooped, took Mitch Trubisky's fucking lady. Let's give a moment of silence for Mitch Trubisky, shall we? That's all he deserves. So, Mitch Trubisky's current career statistics, he started 44 games. His record was 26-18. He had a 63% completion, and he threw for 9,114 yards. He has 54 touchdowns in the National Football League and 32 interceptions. Way to go, Trubisky. It was a great life. On to the buzz. Tampa Bay's Buccaneer, Chris Godwin. Tampa Bay's Buccaneer. That's what I just said. The Bucs wide receiver Chris Godwin likely out versus the Chargers. He is eyeing a Week 6 return. He is currently dealing with a hamstring injury to this day. And the reason why he might miss next week, Week 5, is because they play the Bears. And who wants to come back against the Bears defense? Combs, I just threw you a bone. The Bears defense is solid. So also against the Bears in Week 5, that is a Thursday night game. Quick turnaround, so I would expect for him to be back in Week 6. On to the next thing. One more Titans player and no Vikings test positive for COVID in the latest testing round. The league found no close contacts with the Titans players whose test came back positive Wednesday. That is very interesting how there's no close contacts with Titans players who tested positive and that they are all isolated incidents. Although no official decision has been made about the Titans game Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Nashville, the NFL intends to have that game played as scheduled. So either Tennessee is going to be real rested or they're going to be real rusty, and they're 3-0. That's why they're not on the power rankings. I'm kidding. They're just not on because I don't like them. Josh Donaldson, Minnesota Twins, is not on the roster for the AL Wildcard Series. If you didn't notice that, he did not play yesterday. Calf injury. He's not going to play this whole series, which will probably end today, let's be honest, because we're Minnesota sports and we don't deserve good things. The Twins are now down 1-0 in a series that will play today at noon. They have lost a record-setting 17 straight postseason games. Not series, games, individual games. They have lost 17 straight. And you're like, dang, Benzie, that's got to be a record for MLB. Yeah, that is a record for the MLB. It's also a North American sports record. We're talking everything from lacrosse to croquet to fucking cornhole to freaking bowling. We're talking everything. Everything. Javelin. Chess. North American sports record, 17 straight postseason losses. So meanwhile, the guy that we paid a boatload of money for a huge contract missed 30 games this season with a muscle strain and returned to the lineup on September 2nd, but he was removed from Friday's game after cramping. Minnesota sports, man. It's a brilliant thing. Game 1 of the NBA Finals is tonight at 8 p.m. I have the Lakers in 6. That's Benzie's buzz. Now let's get into some bets. Why not? Let's talk about putting some money on the line. Some cold, hard cheddar cheese biscuits. Some hard-earned do-re-mi. Who loves to put some money on the line? I do. Let's go. Ooh, let's go. Ooh. Buck is saying that game is postponed. Is that breaking news, Buck? Is that breaking? Because I'm not seeing it. Combs, tell Pat Mahomes to tell his fiance and his mom to shut up. Well, first things first, I probably won't hit up my homie, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to call him Pat because I don't want to get on the shit list with Mama Mahomes. Come on, Combs. You almost got the same last name. Combs, Mahomes. I'm not doing it. You call him. Call up your boy Trubisky. Have him reach out. Yikes. All right. So, bets of the week. Let's start in college football. Why not? College football is going on. I know I live in a Big Ten state, and hopefully that's right around the corner, but there actually is college football going on, and it's been glorious. My first bet is going to focus on the Texas Longhorns, who are ranked currently number 9, against the Horned Frogs of TCU. Currently, the over-under is set at 62.5. This is going to be a shootout because Texas will beat you by putting up more points than you. They are not going to be the old school Texas team that shuts you down on defense. Okay? So like I said, this is going to be a shootout. It's going to be an exciting game to watch. And Texas alone is currently averaging over 61 points per game of offense. TCU has only played 1 week, which they gave up 34 points to Iowa State and beat them by scoring 37. So with that in mind, the over-under being 62.5, I am going to smash the over. Smash it. Let's go. That's the first bet of the week. Smash the over, 62.5. Texas at TCU. Next, why not dip our hands into a little Roll Tide pool here? Texas A&M, ranked number 13 at Bama, ranked number 2. The over-under is 51.5. Bama is favored by 17. Two names you need to really watch in this game, and they're not on the Bama side of the ball. Keelan Mond, quarterback, and Isaiah Spiller, running back. That's the two names that I'm going to be focused on. Love Keelan Mond. I love what he can do with the game, and it's going to be an interesting battle. Now, I'm going to take Texas A&M with them being given 17 points, not to win, but just to cover the spread. And I'm not going to smash anything on this bet. I'm going to tap it. I'm going to tap the under. I've got Bama winning 27-20, and like I said, I'm just going to tickle it. Just going to tickle the under. Tap it a little bit. A little love tap. That's what we're going to do there. Next, let's go into the NFL. Baltimore Ravens versus the Washington football team. But Benzie, what's their mascot? I don't fucking know at this point. They're the football team. Like the Ohio State, I guess. That's a horrible fucking comparison. Let's just get on with the bet. All right, so Baltimore is favored by 13. I am going to take them to cover the spread. They're going to bounce back. They're going to be pissed off. Lamar's going to do some crazy fucking regular season shit because that's what Lamar does. And he's going to fucking light them up. Even with the defense that they have. It's not a great defense, but it's a good defense for Washington. And Lamar is going to fucking take advantage of them with no lube. And it's going to be fucking icky. So let's just move on. So Baltimore covering the spread there. Saints at Lions. Saints are given 4 points in this. They're favored by 4. I am going to take the Saints because I have the Saints at number 7 in my power rankings because the Saints are good enough to be there. Fuck you, Combs. Next, Colts at the Bears. Oh, Combs, come here. Come here, Combs. You fucking Bears fan, come here. The Colts are favored by 2.5 against a 3-0 team. And fucking they're going to beat them. The Colts are going to beat the Bears. They're going to fucking make Big Dick Nick look fucking filthy because guess what? The Colts have a better defense than the Bears. And oh, fuck, then Benzie's going to have the Colts in his power rankings next week and it's going to be fucking delicious. Colts, take them by the spread. And then you got the Pack at the Falcons. Pack are favored by 7.5, and the Pack are going to cover that fucking spread too. They're just going to fucking cover it. The little fucking cream cheese. Just fucking cover the spread. The Pack are going to cover the spread. It's fucking not good for Vikings fans because we're going to have to listen to that bullshit all year long. But it is what it is, man. So once again, this is Benzie's Bits. I'm back. It's feeling good. I'm an episode behind Mike on the mic. I'm an episode behind Green Bay Greg, a.k.a. GBG, because he names his fucking show after himself because that's how big his fucking ego is. And I love it. I'll see you Saturday on Twist. We're going live at, I believe, 2 p.m. Central Time. Make sure to follow me at TwistBenz on Twitter. Just stay fucking blessed, man. It's fucking great. Combs is trying to chime in. You ain't even making it on the show, Combs. Let's give them some fucking time. When the Bears are 4-0 after Sunday, they better be in your power rankings. And when you come on TSS, you better come wearing a Bears hat. That ain't going to fucking happen. There it is. Tell them, Buck. The Colts are going to put it in them. Let's go. Thanks for all being here. Appreciate y'all. Love you all. Don't fucking watch any fucking politics. Focus on your real life and live it. Peace.